This year's hottest fashion trend? Turncoats. Fox News is finally turning on Trump and Elon Musk, and it is a beautiful thing. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. The first month of the resurrected Trump administration has been nothing short of pandemonium. A combination of illegal executive orders, unqualified candidates, appointed to cabinet positions, and a maddening supply of lies coming out of the White House press secretary have created nationwide chaos and anxiety. Adding to it all is the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE as it's more colloquially known. DOGE is headed by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, and that's amplified the mess of it all. Musk's giving Nazi salutes, claiming he's not a government employee, and many conflicts of interest have not calmed public fears about the administration doing away with democracy, or people believing that it's doing its best to install a totalitarian dictatorship. So much of our current mess stems directly from Elon Musk and his band of incel interns laying off or firing thousands of government employees. While that move also begs questions of legality, it's become increasingly clear that voters are fed up with Trump and Musk. Trump's approval ratings have started to plummet, and more Republican politicians, even those from deep red states, have begun to run afoul of their constituents. Like this town hall from over the weekend. Take a look at this clip of Representative Mark Alford of Missouri getting jeered by his voters. This is during a town hall. Have a look at this.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government. But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
I know there are a lot of people who don't want to see waste, abuse, and fraud weeded out. Some of them here today.
I don't want him in charge of it.
But he is appointed by the president, the chief executive, who can appoint whoever he can appoint you.
I thought it was your job. It is your job.
Elon Musk and the president have agreed that if there is any potential conflict of interest,
It is your job.
and it's clear here today that some people don't believe that would happen. And that's okay.
It is your job.
In the next election, to elect someone that you believe.
We didn't elect Elon. Remember your oath. You don't represent us. You represent Elon Musk.
You're a violation of your oath, sir.
God has a plan for you too, Congressman. It involves retirement. Still, no matter how many Republican voters turn on Trump or Musk, we still find this next bit shocking. Fox News was created to parrot Republican talking points and sow racial and class discord. It's safe to say that Trump would never have become president were it not for his ceaseless calls to Fox News, trashing the Republican establishment, and of course, the Democrats. So color me baffled when this aired earlier today. Now this clip runs a couple minutes, so make sure to watch all the way to the end. Have a look.
What's wrong with trying to root out an employee staying out of spite?
Well, there are both legal problems, and I think we're hearing that from some of the unions. There are contracts that have been negotiated. But more importantly, this is just the latest in a string of attacks on public servants that have happened for the last month. I spent 10 years in the federal government. Most of the people I worked with at the CIA or the State Department were hardworking, patriotic, dedicated Americans. These federal workers aren't just in Washington, they're around the country. We had 1,000 Veterans Affairs employees fired by DOGE in the last few weeks, including some that manned the suicide hotline for veterans. We had FAA safety officers mistakenly fired, and people that work on avian flu. The reason our eggs are so expensive is because of bird flu. So moving fast and making public service employees feel like the enemy and make it seem like it's something that's dishonorable is very difficult for people across the country. And that's why you see people in red states and red districts going to town halls with their members and saying, I have honorably served my country for 20 years, and I got fired for no reason by Elon Musk, who, by the way, makes millions and millions of dollars from the federal government himself. And he's firing people who make $50,000 a year for no reason. So I think morally, this has been really disheartening to see how they're going at someone so rich as Elon is going after public service employees and not doing it with a scalpel, not having their managers be the one to do it. DOGE isn't managing these people. And at the same time, people across the country can't pay their mortgages or put food on the table for their kids because they got fired from a job they thought had job security. That is not electorally or morally a good plan, I think, for Republicans.
I hear what you're saying, but in all due respect, I do think it's an oversimplification. I do think that there are employees that should be rooted out. I mean, Paul,
but that's not what they're doing, right?
Background
aren't they all
knowledge.
still getting paid through September, so they could potentially get another job and then they have 2 paychecks?
Some of them are not.
Those that didn't take the buyout, I guess.
Some of them are not. Many of them are not getting paid.
But Paul.
Wow. You know, it doesn't surprise me that some of the panelists on the show have no idea what's actually going on with Trump, Musk, or the United States. You know, the whole reason they get paid to be there in the first place. Nobody ever watches Fox for informed commentary. Nor do they watch it for Kayleigh McEnany's orange tan. She's a shade of Trump there, and it makes her look terrible. Anyway, what's really shocking here is how Marie Harf doesn't mince words when it comes to Trump and Musk's approach to dismantling our government. And, color me shocked, but I actually agree with a Fox News pundit for once. Harf is totally right. Musk is firing people, good people, from their jobs in the name of savings, all while he collects billions in contracts and subsidies from the government. And by the way, even with the total amassment of salaries of all these layoffs, they only add up to pocket change in the grand scheme of the government. No wonder he and Trump are now pressuring Republicans to cut $80 billion from Medicare. Of course, that won't save the government money either. They just want the cuts to enable tax cuts for billionaires. Welcome to Elon Musk's America. A place where people who work hard for upward mobility are mocked, and where the biggest entitlement is to the wealthiest among us who take our hard-earned tax dollars for themselves to line their own pockets. On the upside, Elon Musk may think he's running things, but he's overlooked something very dire. He has set himself up as the perfect sacrificial lamb against Donald Trump. As approval ratings crater, as the market tanks amid the chaos and Trump's ill-conceived tariffs, Elon has become the perfect fall guy. Blame him for the chaos. The big question is, when Trump finally tires of Elon's stupidity, will there still be any kind of functioning government left to fire him from? We shall see. One way or the other, Trump and Musk better learn to read the mood of the country. They will not like the way this ends if they do not. I'm David Reddish.